Hey YouTube, I am super excited to bring you today's deck profile. It is Lilith Loop in BT6, and man, this deck is a treat. This deck list was given to me by Schwarzi, one of my fellow German friends in the Digimon community, and he's had a lot of tournament success with this deck, going X1 in multiple tournaments, maybe even winning a tournament with it, I'm not quite sure, but strong success all around. I built the deck, I played 5 matches with it, and I won 4 of them, which is really friggin' phenomenal considering I just built this deck, played 5 matches, and a lot of skill is required to make this deck work as optimally as possible. I think I've only changed 2 cards from the list he sent me. It's a really thought out, well-tested list, and I'm going to explain what those changes were that I made, and I'm going to exchange what changes you can make for EX01. This is a deck you can definitely take to a tournament, even nationals, and as long as you're concentrating the entire time, you can do great. There's a reason why Lilith Loop is popping off lately. The deck is amazing. So without further ado, let's like the video, comment, let me know what you think, subscribe to the notification bell to smash potatoes, that way you know when all these amazing Digimon videos come out, and also don't forget to follow me on Twitch and join my Discord, links are in the description below, and if you want to join this week's Circuit Digimon series, go ahead and join Discord, the link and everything you need to know, it can be found there. So we always start with our babies. We're doing 4 TITAMON here, inheritable once per turn. When you trash a card from your hand, draw a card. You're trashing a lot of cards in your hand in this deck, so having 4 of this is the best egg. We're also doing 1 Demi-Meramon on the leash and draw 1, discard 1. Definitely good to have 5 eggs in this deck because it is a bit of a grind game sometimes and you do want 5 eggs. So, yep, all good. This deck plays a lot of different rookies, so let's start talking about them. First, we got 3 Goblimon here from BT1. Next, we have 3 Goblimons. When attacking, draw 1, discard 1. Again, if you can set that up with like a Sunomon egg, it's really freaking good. So we play 3 of it. Then we play 2 Impmon. On play, you can trash a card to add a 7 Great Demon Lord from your discard to your hand. You want to know what level 6 Digimon is a 7 Great Demon Lord? I have no idea, but I'm sure we'll get to it. So we play 2 of it just for the extra recursion. Then we play 2 Gazimon just for memory denial. The memory boosts are really common in this format, as well as other ways to gain memory, so Gazimon is really good. We are playing 1 Elecmon from BT6 on the leash and delete when your opponent's level 3 Digimon. It comes up, so we're playing 1 of it. I'm not the biggest fan. This didn't come up a whole lot for me, but I do understand why it's there. And at one point, it did pop a Sistermon, so that's really good. And then finally, 1 Labramon, just on play, draw 1, discard 1. So lots of discarding cards. Overall, it plays a lot of different rookies, right? It plays a lot of different rookies, but different rookies, like so many different choices. And that's because this deck was built in mind with so many matchups to address so many different issues and trigger so many cards. Like having these Goblimons here to just friggin' draw you cards and discard cards, draw cards, discard cards, choking memory, add back Lilithmon, you know, it's really important to have all these rookies here. So 12 rookies is fine, it's pretty good, and honestly, I made no changes in the rookie slot. All these rookies are really good, and I would keep it that way. So level 4s, I am playing 3 Genkaku Promote. Interestingly enough, the German Schwarzi, who I took this from, did play 2 of this. I'll tell you what he played 3 of instead. But we played 3 Promote because that was Rush. Also on play, you can add back 1 Genkaku to its sources and 1 Kinkaku to its sources. We play 2 of each. And if you do, you gain a memory and draw a card. So, you know, potentially getting memory drawing cards for free sometimes is really good. And then Genkaku has an inheritable once per turn, trash a card from your hand, gain a memory, which obviously happens a lot. Then the Kinkaku, when attacking, trash a card to delete when your opponent's level 3 lower Digimon. It pops Sistermons, which is really freaking good. And also other level 3s that might be there. So yeah, we're playing 7 of this package in total. This card is just a monster. It's basically Purple Bushy, which is really good. And sometimes lets you draw a card when you play it. Also, we're playing 2 Vilemon. So Schwarzi played 3 Vilemon and 2 Promote. The reason that I ended up changing it to 3 Promote and 2 Vilemon is because I didn't really often need Vilemon, believe it or not. And if I had 1 Vilemon in the discard pile, usually that was enough. But what I really needed to do was sometimes OTK the opponent, and having that extra Promote access really does help. You see it a little more often, and if a Promote, you know, lives a check, you know, you're not screwed, right? You can bring back another one and attack with it. And if you have 3, you can do it a 3rd time, which did come up in 1 game. Instead of, you know, having the 3 Promote, I had 3 Vilemon, then I lost. So we fixed that by putting in 3 Promote. Again, didn't really test it at all, the 3 promote, but in theory I think it works a little bit better, and you see a lot more. As opposed to Vilemon, where when you've seen one, it's really all you need. It also just loses the Gobble and loses the Judgment of the Blade, which is kind of unfortunate. But yeah, I think this is fine. No big deal. The last level 4 is one Ogremon. On play, trash a card late when pulse level 4 lower Digimon. Just a really good card. It triggers on play. It happens a lot. So it's a good card. Yeah. 10 champions. I only made one change from his list, but the whole lineup is basically fine. It's really good. Level 5s, we're playing 3 Lady Devimon. Graceful Charity when evolving. Broken. Also the Inheritable that pops level 3 and activate an option. He's really good at popping those pesky memory denial cards. So 3 of it is fine. We're playing 2 Cerberusmon, and we're playing 2 Cerberusmon Werewolfmon. The Werewolf mode. This is the spice. This is insane. I remember one of the regionals I played in with Yellow and BT5. I lost to this Lilith Loop deck. It was my only loss in Swiss. I came 9th. I was pissed. But this engine is so fire. For those of you that don't know, these are both level 5s. This one costs 6 to play, which isn't that bad. But on deletion, you draw 2, discard 1, which really freaking helps. And then Werewolf mode here, it costs 9 to play. Unfortunately, you can't bring back with Zwart. But what happens is you have a Cerberus on the field, you can play Cerberus Werewolf mode, delete this to make it free, and it has Rush, which is insane. It's like another Bushy Agumon. You can tell I like my Bushy Agumon cards, right? So yeah, just having access to another Rush in the deck makes the deck a lot more aggressive, and you can close out games a little faster than in a regular Lilith Loop deck that doesn't play this engine. Now, most people that play Lilith Loop are opting to play multiple Rebellion. Because we're playing the Cerberus package, I'm only playing 1. It's really good because when Digivolving, you discard a card to make it a retaliation blocker, which is really good against Jessamon, to be honest. However, you didn't really need against Jessamon, to be honest. I mean, you set up 1, and then as soon as you set up 1, you can kind of just win the game next turn. It's super weird. But yeah, 1 is fine. I was thinking about playing a second one just to see a little bit more. And if you mill it, it kind of feels bad. But, you know, sometimes it just happens that way. The Cerberus engine is really fire. I do definitely recommend giving it a try. And this level 5 lineup is his completely. I did not change a single card in it, and it works really well. So, yeah, good line. For the level 6s, this is where I made the other change in the deck, believe it or not. I'm playing 3 of the Mommy Lilithmon here, and I'm playing 3 TITAMON. So, we all know what Lilithmon does, right? Lilithmon here, when Digivolving, you add back 2 purple options from your discard to your hand. Then once return to an activate an option, you gain 2 memory for free. That's how you loop. It's really important. With other cards as well. TITAMON, though. TITAMON's a new card from BT6. When Digivolving, trash a card in your hand, then bring back a level 4 lower purple Digimon. Or sorry, level 4 lower Digimon from your trash for free. It doesn't have to be purple. Fun fact. In case it gets anyone brain working. That's really good. Then once per turn, if you trash a card, it has security +1. And 2000 DP, which is really freaking strong. So he was playing 4 Lilith and 2 Tida. I opted for 3 and 3. The reason I did that is because sometimes when I was playing 4 Lilithmon, you draw multiple Liliths in your opening hand, you don't draw TITAMON. And if you draw Lilithmon and you can't really loop your opponent, it just feels kind of sad. But whenever I drew TITAMON early game, or even late game for that matter sometimes, it was perfectly good all the time. So I opted to change it to a 3-3 split. And I actually tried 2 matches with this, and it was just fine. The one match, I resolved 2 TITAMONs, and the third one was in the trash because of his Zwart, but that was really freaking strong. The TITAMON is a really good card, and you need it early game where that has an advantage over Lilithmon. So I think the 3-3 split is appropriate, but again, I think 4 and 2 is perfectly okay too. I guess it depends on your style of play and what you're kind of play testing against, what you want to crush in a tournament. So yeah, 6 level 6s though I think is the way. You shouldn't change that number. But if you do 4 or 2 or you do 3 and 3, I think it's fine either way. Level 7s, just 2 Zwart. When you evolve, you basically bring back 2 level 8 cost or lower black or purple cards from your trash to play for free, and then when attacking, you can kill an unsuspended Digimon level 12, play cost 12 or lower by returning a 6 cost in a stack to the hand, which is really freaking strong. And then let's just get in the options real quick because you already know. 2 Mega Digimon Fusion, the card that people are calling to get banned on the most recent ban list coming up. This card makes Zwart free. which is stupid, and that's the whole loop, right? Because your Lilith and the Omnimon Zwart play is free, and then you bring back the Lilith Mon with Zwart's effect to your hand, and then you do it all over again, because this brings back a level 5, like a Lady Devi, a Rebelli, or Cerberus. And you just loop all over again with Jack raids, sometimes Underworld Call. By the way, we're playing an Underworld Call. Really cool. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, this card's absurd. It makes the whole strategy really, really viable, and it's really freaking good. Sometimes you just close out the game. Interestingly enough, something you need to keep in mind, when you activate Mega Digimon Fusion, it does put the Zwart to the bottom of the deck. So like, you can have a really strong turn, mill your deck, and then in the turn, a Zwart goes to the bottom of the deck, and you don't deck out, which is really freaking good, in case you need to do that. So yeah, that closes our level 7s, and that starts off our option line anyway, the 2 Mega Digimon Fusion, really strong. Because it's Lilith Loop, we're obviously playing 4 of the best option in the deck, besides Mega Digimon Fusion, Jack Raid. It's a Hammer, Spark, and Security, which is cool, but on play gets you 1 memory for every 10 cards in trash. Sometimes it gets you 1, sometimes it gets you 2. Very rarely does it get you 3, but it is good, and you cycle them with Lilithmon, which is really strong. I already mentioned it, we're playing 1 Underworld Call. This card brings back a level 4 or lower, which is really freaking good. If it brings back a Promote, and you have the other 2 cards in the trash, you basically play this for 3, which is really strong. It's kind of like Blinding Ray Bushy, and you know how I feel about Blinding Ray Bushy, guys. Also, when you trash this card from your hand, you actually just draw a card. It's like a danger monster in Yu-Gi-Oh! Sort of. It's really freaking cool. So yeah, 1 of those. You can recur Lilithmons, so 1 is fine. And finally, 2 Purple Memory Boost. On play, you reel top 4 cards of your deck, add a Purple Digimon to your hand, risk at the bottom, and then you delay it to gain 2 memory. You can add back this card with Lilithmon because it's an option, and sometimes I've done that, and it's really freaking cool because sometimes you need pieces and sometimes you need memory. But having 2 of it is fine because it is recurable, and having that extra memory sometimes when you don't have a memory tamer on the field is really strong. That's it for the options. Option 9 is perfectly fine, would not change anything in it. The final cards are our tamers. We are playing 1 Matt Ishida as our memory tamer. On play, add a purple card back to your hand, and it's your memory tamer, so it's to 3. Really good. And then our final 2 cards are 2 Takumi Aibas. It's the card that you can suspend a draw when you evolve a Pokemon in your battle area once per turn. Really, really, really good. And also, it's kind of anti-Rookie Rush, sort of. All your level 3 Digimon gain when attacking lose a memory. So Rookie Rush kind of gets penalized against that. Didn't really come up in testing, but that is a nice little cool thing you can do. Now, in EX01 format, the only changes you make in this deck, these 2 Takumis become Analog Youths. Analog Youth is insane. On play, you basically reel top 3 cards of your deck and you add a Digimon to your hand. And then during your turn, when one of your level 5 or higher Digimon dies, you hatch an egg. That extra value, it's kind of like a Mimi. So, if you're playing EX01, you play Analog Use instead of these, but until then, 2 Takumi Aiba, perfectly fine, does get you draws, it is really good. That's it for the deck, let's close up. Alright guys, that's Lilith Loop. I did a great job explaining it, I hope, and hopefully you guys like the deck list, and maybe let me know what changes you'd make in the comment section below. I do really like this list, I appreciate how well thought out it was. Shout out to Schwarzi in Germany to just, you know, kicking ass with this deck. It's a really good deck. And we're out of here, guys. We will see you later. Take care.